Hey everybody, Mr. Holmes here. I'm going to go ahead and work on this project. I'm going to do it live like I did last week with my my fish and jellyfish. So this project is going to be a lot easier to do if you're able to print this out. Um, just being honest with you guys, doing this on Google Drawings is going to be interesting, and I'm going to go ahead and stumble through it right now. But if you have any way to print this out or even recreate it yourself on a piece of paper, I would highly recommend doing that. Not only is it going to be better practice for you for coloring using your color pencils or whatever color utensils you have in like quote the real world, but also it's going to you can be more creative with it in with your own hands versus doing it digitally like this. But if you only have access to your Chromebook and you have to do it online like this, well, I'm going to try to walk through how I would approach this project. So hopefully my whole screen's recording. Again, I'm doing this live, so if there's some mistakes or I misspeak on something, bear with me. We're just trying to do this for fun right now. But as you can see, hopefully, I have a color wheel up and I have my project up. And so for the this project, for each of the four designs here, well, three, and then a blank design, which we'll do by yourself. You'll create your own composition here. We're going to fill in these shapes with a color scheme. All right. And it asks us to label the colors you choose. All right. I know some of us have been having a hard time following all the directions in the past few projects. So I'm going to stress that we please label all the colors you choose. Where do you label them, Mr. Holmes, you might ask? Well, right here in the color triad: monochromatic, analogous, complementary, split complementary, and tetratic, if that's the style you choose to do. So I'm going to start on this box right here, this big box. And for this one, my little rectangles right here, I want to make them all analogous colors. So I'm going to write this down. I'm saying I'm creating an analogous color scheme. Now it's technically fall, I think. So I kind of want to do a fall color scheme for this one. So I'm looking at my color wheel here. I'm going to use brown, tan, and a color they're calling cane toad, which is pretty sweet. But I might just do orange, yellow ochre, and olive oil because that sounds a little friendlier. So I'm going to say analogous colors. I'm going to say I'm using orange, yellow, ochre, and olive oil. Now, I won't have access to those exact colors through Google Drawings, but I'm going to try as close as I can. So I want to come in here, and one way you could do it, I suppose, is by selecting your shape, going to the drop box, dump tool, and just dumping in this dark yellow. I'm going to call that my yellow ochre. But you see, the issue is it's going to overlap with this rectangle, and there's a fine, smaller rectangle right here that needs to be a different color, right? So, unfortunately, just filling in all these shapes, not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to go ahead and recreate these shapes over the ones that are already displayed. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and get my three colors here right now. I'm going to make them. I said I'm using orange, so I'll use that. That's good. Oh, wow, that's huge. Control Z, undo. So I'll make a box right here. Hopefully this is my orange box. Okay. Maybe I feel it now. There we go. Orange box. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take away my borders and see how it looks. See, Google Drawing brings up all these extra blue lines for me when I'm adjusting the size. It's great. It's trying to keep everything in perfect proportions, which could be good for us, could be super annoying. We're going to find out. All right. Now this box down here, I'm going to create another box, another shape box, and I want to copy it like that. But this time I'm going to fill it with my yellow. So I want to make that yellow ochre. there-ish, maybe. Yeah, good enough for government, as they say. If you haven't heard that saying, ask your parents, they might know it. If they don't, ask your grandparents, they might know it. All right, so we have two, and they're overlapping. Now, there was a shape that was created between these two rectangles, right? So I want to make sure I'm highlighting that. So I'm going to go ahead and create another box. Now, at this point, you're probably saying, wow, Rome's, this is going to take forever to do it this way. And I think you're right, everybody. That's why I'm really encouraging us to, if you had the capabilities, print this out and color it yourself. But again, if you don't have the option, well, this is the way we're doing it. So this is my olive oil color, I think. Yeah, it's okay. Again, this is my analogous colors. They're all really close together. Um, so I have three shapes done. I'm gonna keep trucking away here. Maybe I can get away with filling in some of these boxes. Let's see if I can speed this up. This one's gonna be, yeah, that's fine. That one doesn't overlap at all. So I want to do this one orange because it's so far away. And I'm taking off the borders just because I think it looks kind of neat without them. This rectangle, it is being covered by other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and actually recreate that rectangle, that shape here. So again, shape tool, shapes, boom. Let's recreate it like that. And I want to color it my olive oil. Right on. All right, so we're making progress here. Oh boy. So now here's an issue, right? I have this shape right here and a shape down here. This white shape is touching all my colors so far. So how am I going to do this? Let's figure this out together. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make another shape to kind of split the difference for ourselves here. I'm going to make a little shape right there, little rectangle. I'm going to make that olive oil. That way I can make another shape to go underneath those two in the corner. And I'm going to make that one the orange. And now it's on top. I don't want it on top. It's fine on top, don't get me wrong, but I want that behind everything else. So I'll go to arrange, order. I'm going to send it to back. Oh, wow, that's too far back. So arrange, order, bring forward. There we go. Now we're kind of creating an interesting layout here, a little interesting composition. So I have some more white. That's going to go ahead and I'll create another shape. The whole area. And yeah, you're going to be that olive oil color. Ugh, kind of like that. Maybe send it backwards. Let's see. Send it back again. That's not far enough back, perhaps. Right? Let's see. Control plus down arrow. Well, I guess there's nothing not on top of anything. It is though. Why won't you go down? All right, so arrange, order, we'll just send it back. Okay. Now I'll bring it up one. There we go. Okay, this is interesting, but I'm not really happy with my composition here. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a couple more rectangles to kind of spice it up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead. I just want to create some more interesting, make it a little more dynamic. So feel free to go ahead and rearrange the shapes and stuff when you're doing this yourself. If you want to make it more interesting or more dynamic for you, just because of the colors I chose and the way I laid them out originally made it not as visually interesting as I was hoping it was going to be. So I'm just going through, I'm playing with the shapes now. Try not to have too many of your shapes like overlap, being as the same the same color. So this might be interesting if I actually make this guy really long. Kind of interject into the orange space there. That's kind of interesting. I might add another one. I'm kind of building some rhythm here with these elongated olive oil rectangles. I'm going to break that up by putting this an angry little yellow ochre rectangle right on top of everything. Say, no, this is my space. I own this space. Yeah. So that's an oh my gosh, an analogous composition there. It's kind of interesting, different, very fallish. So now that's doing on Google Drawing. You saw it took a long time to do the shapes, make boxes, yada yada yada. I want to do one more. I'm actually going to go ahead and do the create our own space here. Okay, I'll create my own composition using Google Drawing, and I want to use. What do I want to use? I think I'm going to go ahead and just use complementary colors. Yeah, no, too easy. Let's do, get out of here. Let's do a tetradic. Let's do this here. And I am going to use yellow, purple, because we see over here on our chart, or not yellow, I'm going to use gold. Wow, silly me. I'm going to use gold and purple because they kind of come across right here. And on our more simplified color wheels, we see gold and purple are complementary colors. Gold, purple, that's the first pair. And my second pair of complementary pairs are going to be green and red. Oh boy, let's see what this turns out to be. So gold and purple and green and red. And I'm going to start just creating stuff here. Let's have some fun with it. I think I'm going to do, let me make my colors first. Or maybe I can just use default. Let's see. No. I'm going to make them. So let's make my purple first. Like a rich purple. Cool. Those are purple. I don't want it there. But I have it there now in my custom slots. Now I make a gold. So what I'm doing here on this program is just getting my color palette set up for myself. So when I'm completing the project, it's going to be easier for me. Gold enough. And now I'm going to go ahead and give myself a green. Now, when I hear green and red, I just can't help thinking about December and holiday time. So I'm doing a nice like forest green. I'm going to do a nice rich red here. Cool. So I have my four colors that I'm going to be using for this piece. I want to create some fun shapes. So let's use an equation. And y. Okay, here we go. Now, if I just click and drag, I can make the shape as wonky as I want. But if I hold down my shift key, it's going to keep the shape in proportion. So it's going to keep all the sides being equal. And I kind of want that. So I'm going to put you there for now. And I'm going to try to rotate you a little bit. Cool. Take off your border, and you're going to be purple. Or purple plus sign, purple cross. And let's just keep going here. Use a gold here. Now I kind of want this gold one to actually be behind it. So again, I can arrange, order, send backwards. Again, just starting, just kind of fun, just playing around, see how things go. Let's create another shape. Transparent. Let's start playing with the other pair. This one's going to be green. Now, see what I would like to do. I'd like to push it off the edge like this of the piece, but due to the constraints of Google Drawing, I can't like trim this shape around my border. So, well, I can't without doing a lot of extra steps. So I'm not going to do that right now. Um, if you wanted to, you could create a white box that covers the entire page, send it all the way to the back, and then you could have make cutouts for it. No, I don't know if you can do that in Google Drawing. Anyway, don't worry about that, everybody. Probably more work than it's worth. Again, if you can print this out or create this on your own piece of paper, I highly recommend doing it. But for now, just having some fun making shapes, making a composition here. Overlapping shapes and using my tetradic color scheme. If you want to leave the borders on, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. That's your piece. You do what you want. I'm just experimenting and seeing how it's going to look like if I have them off. So, art's all about experimentation. And sometimes you do a piece and you're going to love it. And you're like, wow, this is amazing. I'm amazing. Everything's great. And sometimes you're going to fool around with a piece for hours or days and you're going to look at it and go, man, I just hate it so much. And that's okay. It's growing. It's about failing forward. It's about learning from your mistakes. It's about trying hard and seeing where that can take you. And I guarantee that as artists, we tend to be our hardest critic is often ourselves. Put it that way. And so if you can learn to know that you're giving it your best, giving it your all, and you're following through with the style and being true to yourself as you're creating these things, well, that's all we can ask, you know? It's all about self-expression and who you are as a person, who you are as an artist, and what journey you're taking. And I'm excited to be a small part of that, everybody. I'm excited to see what you're going to do for this project. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to do in the future, too. It's been fun watching you turn your work in all semester long. I've seen a lot of growth from a lot of you students. A lot of you guys and gals have started someplace, and now your pieces of artwork are leagues different than when you started, and it hasn't been that long. So I just can only imagine what you'd be able to create if you stick with it. So I know art can be intimidating. It can have a stigma around it of an air like superiority, like, oh, I'm an artist. Look at all these cool things I know how to do, or look what I can create. But it doesn't have to have that, you know. You're an artist if you say you are. That's it. It's as simple as that. Like when people ask you, like, "Oh, what do you do?" Like, "Oh, you're an artist." Why? Well, because you create art, and nothing can take that away from you. Oof, I don't want that purple. Yeah, see, now I'm kind of running an issue where I where I have a lot of shapes coming together now, and starting to overlap colors, which is again totally fine. I can always rearrange stuff, right? So this is a plus of doing a Google Drawing. You can rearrange things. So this is kind of coming out neat now. I didn't like it when I started, but now that I'm a little bit into it, some interesting things that are happening. Gonna have to fill in this background, so I'm gonna do some larger shapes and just sending stuff to the back. So if you want to easily rearrange your orders, hold down the control key, and then hit either the up or the down arrow on your number pad. That's the way you can mess with the order or the arrangement of your shapes. These two stars too close together. I don't know if I like the stars. Kind of too like badgy for me. I don't know. We'll see. Gonna do another shape down here. Let's keep it simple and do a box. And put a purple box down here. And I'm going to control down arrow. Keep sending it back. Yeah. Above or below the star. All right, I'll leave it above it. Leave it above it. Cool. Now I have another big splotch of white. I'm just going to create another shape to fill that in. That is a big old shape. And that probably won't end up being purple. No, it's not going to be a purple. Ooh, red's neat. I like that. I like how it cuts the circle up quite nicely. But then this other large shape being red doesn't really do much for me there. So it's a lot of red in the piece now. I think I'm going to fix that by throwing down another purple. Purple what? I don't know. Purple arrow? Sure. Purple arrow like this. Again, this is just, there's no rhyme or reason right here, except I don't want that much red to be together. The field of red was too large. Okay. Wow. This is weird looking. And it's a lot of colors mixed together, right, guys? So that is a composition of a tetradic color scheme. That is an example, and this was a long video. So thanks for hanging out with me for the whole time. Again, I want you to feel free to bring up a color wheel to help you out as you're completing this project. Make sure you type in on the left what color schemes you chose. Now you're going to notice that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 color schemes and only 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. So 2 of the color schemes you will not use. All right. So make sure you label the ones you are using. And thanks, everybody. I will talk to you real soon, and I'll see you in class. Awesome.